All right, everyone. Here we are with ticker symbol NIO, NEO Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to state some things. And the first thing is welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. Hope you guys find this video helpful and informative. I hope it means you well and you find this to your convenience. To all my subscribers, I want to say thank you for your support. Also, your recognitions to my efforts and feedback. It means a lot. It speaks in high volumes from your guys' end, and I expect to continue to give and relay information that's helpful and informative and nothing less. Let's jump into this chart. So the highest point of this stock was reached yesterday at 2037, 2038-ish, right? And our resistance level was 2015, and that was broken through, and it looked like there was momentum, and quickly it fell right after. So the highest point that this reached in the day was 2103, and that's the highest point NEO has reached in its history of trading lately. And quickly from that 2103, this dipped down to lows of 1849. Very high in volatility, and we can definitely see how quickly the bulls reappeared and building momentum, actually ending up slightly above the 50-day moving average, as well as back in between the support and the resistance. So our support and resistance has slightly changed after this narrow stretch, and the bulls were really going to want to come in hefty, and they did, but quickly lost control of that. Whether people started fearing in the EV sector, um, because believe it or not, or even if we wouldn't want to believe it, if Tesla is acting a certain way, it's going to reflect and make other EV sectors feel the same way. I'm not saying that they correlate. I'm not saying that they're in direct correlation with each other, but also many investors that are in one EV, they're going to be in another. And maybe they choose only one for personal reasons or opinions, but for the most part, everybody's diversifying in different EV sectors, and whatever people see happen to Tesla, sometimes it does affect other ones. And then slightly, there was a recovery here because people then realized, well, Neo's Neo and Tesla's Tesla. They're not in direct correlation. So that could have had an effect. I'm just going ahead and hypothetically speaking in regards to the fact that most people in EV sectors are in all of them. And Tesla had a slight dip, and then it slightly rose back up and leveled off, but it's a lot lower than where it was at before. But here in Neo, you could just see this was profits, fear, or just people assuming that as investors, what's going on in one side of the EV sector is going to happen to the other. But the bulls quickly recovered, and here we are. So I want to go ahead and move this to our new support. And our resistance level, honestly, is a very odd one compared to what it usually is. And it's actually the closing price. The reason why is because the closing price is the highest point that it reached after this run. So I actually want to move the resistance level to a point that's very important, and it's way up here. It's the second highest point of the day and the second highest point of the stock being reached ever. So this is a very, very broad stretch here. The 50-day moving average is very important right now, and it is 1971. That is literally 22-cent difference from the closing price of 1993. So for the bulls to continue this run, they need to continue to break through newer highs, start off the day on 1993, and continue to move their way up to newer resistance levels. As they do that, the most important resistance level is 2093. They have to break through that to continue this bullish run. If the bulls can't break through 2093, the rejection is clearly there. And yeah, it will hang out and so forth, but the 50-day moving average could catch up to it, bringing it down by default into bearish territory. Right now, it's slightly bullish. The bulls need to continue with this momentum and not allow the bears to reappear. So the 50-day moving average is significant because it's in the middle of all of this. It's in the middle of the closing price and the support, and it's in the middle of the most important resistance level and the support, and even in between the closing price and the support as well. So it's just smack in the middle. That means that this tug of war is going to be very interesting tomorrow and the upcoming days. 2093 needs to be crossed so that the bulls can start their rally again and continue to hit newer highs and new resistance levels, since that's the highest point of the stock being reached. It closed at 993. 993 needs to be broken through and continue to work its way up through uh, the momentum that it already created for the bulls, and then stay above, obviously, 1971, which is the 50-day moving average, to be in bullish territory. Now, on the other spectrum of things, if this was to break the 50-day moving average and work its way down, and it works its way down to the support level is 1903. If 1903 gets broken through, this could be on its way down to newer lows, being literally in control by the bears by pulling this further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. If 1903 gets broken through significantly, you're going to want to pay very close attention to how it's acting, because now you're by default in bearish territory. You're moving further away from the 50-day moving average and a downward direction in this chart, and the bulls are losing the chance to stay in bullish territory and even work their way up to the most important resistance level, which is 2093 as of right now, since it's the second highest point that this stock has reached and in a bullish candlestick, right? So this is very significant. It's going to be a pivotal moment for the bulls if they can break through that to continue to work their way up to newer highs. Now, if the support level of 1903 does get broken through, the bears are gaining control. And the next point that I'd really point out is the lowest point of the day, which is 1851. If 1851 was to be reached or broken through, now the bears are definitely bringing this deeper down into bearish territory and moving it significantly further away from 1971, which is the 50-day moving average, in a downward direction. This is going to be very interesting for tomorrow. Hope you guys learned something new. If you guys did and feel encouraged to subscribe, don't forget to click on the bell so you guys can turn on all notifications and not miss a single chart analysis. For all of you guys that found this helpful and informative, please hit the like button and let me know you watched this video. Share this with your friends and community. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.